Thank you everyone for tuning in. Tonight's episode is for a very special group of people that have been holding me down since day one. From Dusk Till Dawn presents 1526, The Shadow of the Aswang. They thought they were returning for gold. They didn't know something had already marked them for consumption. In 1521, Ferdinand Magellan fell on the shores of Mactan, felled by warriors who refused to kneel. His head was a revered trophy. The islands remembered. The sea carried the memory. 4 years later, in 1525, another fleet sailed from Spain under Garcia Joffre de Loaiza. 7 ships, hundreds of men, all chasing spices, gold, glory. Storms had shattered them. Scurvy hollowed mouths and blackened teeth. Men died quietly, faces waxen, eyes sunk in. By early 1526, only fragments limped across the Pacific, desperate, starving, hallowed by fear. Diego Alvarez, a young soldier, devout, nervous, but quick with the blade. He had survived storms, disease, the endless sea. He thought the worst was over. The fleet reached a lush Visayan island. Green hills, rice terraces, streams glittering like flecks of gold in the sun. The villagers, led by Datula Khan, watched silently. They remembered Magellan too. Still they offered hospitality, fruit, water, mats. The Spaniards traded knives for pearls, beads for woven cloth stitched with gold thread. Diego counted heads. He noticed strength in the youth, sharp eyes, silent caution. A knot of dread began to twist in his stomach. Greed whispers first, then it devours. On the moonless night the Spaniards had struck. A dozen young men and women were bound as forced rowers. Food stores were emptied, trinkets and gold seized. At dawn, the ships had slipped away. Screams echoed over the water. The word spread. The villagers prepared. Bamboo stakes, hidden archers, war canoes ready. The second raid met fury. Spears whistled through mangroves. Poison darts struck. Rain-soaked arquebuses misfired. Half the soldiers died in scattered chaos. Diego watched his friends fall. He held the body of a comrade, blood warm and slick. He felt the real first taste of fear. And it was sharp. Worse than hunger. Worse than the storms. Mateo de Elcano decided to return to the first island, the one that had welcomed them. They're afraid, he said. We demand tribute, gold, hands, or we burn. Leverage born of weakness. Scouts reported the torn sails. Datula Khan called the elders under the sacred banyan. They come to devour our future, he said. Steel may fail. We call upon the old protectors. That night the Babaylan performed forbidden rites. Salt burned to ash, garlic crushed, stingray tails laid in patterns older than memory. They summoned the Aswang, the night walker, the viscera eater, the shapeshifter whose torso severs from its legs, eyes glowing like coals, feet reversed to mislead pursuers. Something ancient had heard. Twilight fell. The Spaniards anchored. They marched ashore expecting a surrender. Instead, they met calm faces who offered them water. Their eyes were unreadable. The first sound came. Tick, tick, tick. Diego froze. A sentry vanished. Footprints led backwards into the jungle shadows. Another soldier screamed. Tent empty, except for a smear of dark across the side of it. Closer. Farther. Closer again. Diego clutched his rosary. His fingers trembled. He began to say a prayer. He smelled it then. Sulfur, rotting earth, wet fur, something not quite human. One moment a woman on the shoreline, beautiful. Then her head twisted, her torso lifted, her wings unfurling silently. Diego vomited. Panic consumed the camp. They accused the villagers of summoning demons. But the islanders watched, calm as the torchlight that flickered over their faces. By the second night, discipline broke. The Aswang appeared fully, tall, thin, pale skin stretched over tight bone, a flickering proboscis tongue. Eyes were blazing red. Its claws raked armor as if it was paper. Diego tried to fight. He was lifted effortlessly, screaming into the darkness. He felt claws graze his back and smelled wet decay close to his ear. Others clawed at themselves. Some babbled about mouths breathing down their necks. Mateo roared, his voice cracking. To the boats. The men fled. Waves rose unnaturally. The Aswang leapt from tree to tree. Villagers stood unbowed. The shadow rose from the sea, massive, impossible, silhouetted against the stars. Ships splintered under invisible claws. Men clung to wreckage. Screams dissolved into the black Pacific. By dawn, only the driftwood remained. On shore, Datula Khan watched as the mist rolled in. The banyan tree stood, roots firm. The Aswang faded, its hunger sated. We fought, he said. We remembered. In those who come with hunger in their hearts may find something far hungrier waiting in the dark. The islands endured once again. They always do. Silence followed. The end. The Spanish wrote that ships were lost to storms, but storms don't leave claw marks in the armor, and storms do not answer when called. The islands endured, as they forever will, and somewhere in the jungle, something ancient waits to be called again. Thank you for listening. Sleep tight, or don't. Salamat po.